Hi guys, welcome back to Meet a Book Monday. I am going to be posting this a little bit late. Sorry I had class, but I'm super excited about the book we're going to be reading today. It is called Ishmael by Daniel Quinn, so you guys can see. This is the 25th anniversary edition. It is an amazing book. It has changed the way that I see life as a whole, and the first chapter is actually incredibly short, so hopefully it's enough to draw you guys in and make you want to read it. So let's get started. Chapter 1. The first time I read the ad, I choked and cursed and spat and threw the paper to the floor. Since even this didn't seem to be quite enough, I snatched it up, marched into the kitchen, and shoved it into the trash. While I was there, I made myself a little breakfast and gave myself some time to cool down. I ate and thought about something else entirely. That's right. Then I dug the paper out of the trash and turned back to the personal section, just to see if the damn thing was still there just the way I remembered it. It was. Teacher seeks pupil. Must have an earnest desire to save the world. Apply in person. An earnest desire to save the world. I liked that. That was rich indeed. An earnest desire to save the world. Yes, that was splendid. By noon, 200 mooncalves, softheads, boobies, ninny-hammers, noodleheads, gawkies, and assorted oafs and thickwits would doubtless be lined up to the address given, ready to turn over all their worldlies for a rare privilege of sitting at the feet of some guru pregnant with news that all will be well if everyone just turn around and give his neighbor a big hug. You will wonder, why is this man so indignant, so bitter? It's a fair question. In fact, it's a question I was asking myself. The answer goes back to a time a couple decades ago when I'd had the silly notion that the thing I most wanted to do in the world was to find a teacher. That's right. I imagined I wanted a teacher, needed a teacher, to show me how one goes about doing something that might be called saving the world. Stupid? No. Childish, naive, simple, callow, or just fundamentally dumb. In one so manifestly normal in other respects, it needs explaining. It came about in this way. During the children's revolt of the 60s and 70s, I was just old enough to understand what these kids had in mind. They meant to turn the world upside down, and just young enough to believe they might actually succeed. It's true. Every morning when I opened my eyes, I expected to see that the new era had begun, that the sky was brighter blue and the grass brighter green. I expected to hear laughter in the air and to see people dancing in the streets, and not just kids, everyone. I won't apologize for my naivety. Excuse me. You only have to listen to the songs to know I wasn't alone. Then one day, when I was in my mid-teens, I woke up and realized that the new era was never going to happen. The revolt hadn't been put down. It had just dwindled away into a fashion statement. Can I have been the only person in the world who was disillusioned by this? Bewildered by this? It seemed so. Everyone else seemed to be able to pass it off with a cynical grin that said, well, what did you really expect? There's never been any more than this, and never will be any more than this. Nobody's out to save the world, because nobody gives a damn about the world. That was just a bunch of goofy kids talking. Get a job, make some money, work till you're 60, then move to Florida and die. I couldn't shrug it away like this, and in my innocence I had thought there had to be someone out there with an unknown wisdom who would dispel my disillusionment and bewilderment. A teacher. Well, of course there wasn't. I didn't want a guru or a kung fu master or a spiritual director. I didn't want to become a sorcerer or learn the zen of archery or meditate or align my chakras or uncover past incarnations. Arts and disciplines of that kind are fundamentally selfish. They're all designed to benefit the pupil, not the world. I was after something else entirely, but it wasn't in the yellow pages or anywhere else that I could discover. In Hermann Hesse's The Journey to the East, we never find out what Leo's awesome wisdom consists of. This is because Hesse couldn't tell us what he himself didn't know. He was like me. He just yearned for there to be someone in the world like Leo, someone with a secret knowledge and a wisdom beyond his own. In fact, of course, there is no secret knowledge. No one knows anything that can't be found on a shelf in a public library. But I didn't know that then. So I looked. silly as it sounds now, I looked. By comparison, going after the Grail would have made more sense. I won't talk about it, it's too embarrassing. I looked until I wised up. I stopped making a fool of myself, but something died inside of me. Something that I'd always sort of liked and admired. In its place grew a scar. A tough spot, but also a sore spot. And now, years after I'd given up the search, here was some charlatan advertising in the newspaper for the very same young dreamer that I'd been 15 years ago. This still doesn't explain my outrage, does it? Try this. You've been in love with someone for a decade, someone who barely knows you're alive. You've done everything, tried everything to make this person see that you're a valuable, estimable person and that your love is worth something. Then one day you open up the paper and glance at the personals column, and there you see that your loved one has placed an ad, seeking someone worthwhile to love and be loved by. Oh, I know, it's not exactly the same. Why should I have expected this unknown teacher to have contacted me instead of advertising for a pupil? Contrariwise, if this teacher was a charlatan, as I assumed, why would I have wanted him to contact me? Let it go. I was being irrational. It happens. It's allowed. So, that is chapter 1. I hope that it made you question who the teacher is and what the pupil has to learn. It is an amazing book, guys. I can't stress that enough. I hope that you pick it up. I hope that you open it. And if you do, I hope you enjoy. And I will see you guys next week for Meet a Book Monday. Bye.